Hello and welcome to ThePrint. I'm TCA Sharad Raghavan and I'm going to be talking to you about the remarkable things that are happening in Pakistan's stock market right now. Investors who put their money in the Pakistan Stock Exchange even just 5 months ago would have seen their investments grow on average by a blistering 46% compared with a little more than 3% growth had they invested in the Indian stock market. That's just to give you a contrast between the two. Over a longer time period of 1 year, the Karachi Stock Exchange 100, which is the benchmark index in Pakistan, grew about 43%, while India's BSE Sensex grew 6.6% over the same period. An analysis of the performance of the two markets shows. Now, it's important to point out right at the outset that this comparison is only about growth. Any other comparison doesn't make too much sense because of the sheer size difference between the two markets. For example, where the Bombay Stock Exchange's market capitalization stands at about rupees 336 lakh crore, or that's $4 trillion, this stands at about 6.88 lakh crore Pakistani rupees, or just $24.2 billion for the Pakistan Stock Exchange. That said, the performance of the KSE 100 over the last 5 months has been remarkable, and it closely coincides with several major developments that have been happening in Pakistan, including a deal with the IMF, foreign exchange related agreements with Saudi Arabia and UAE, and a corporate sector rebound. The data also shows that the stock market rally in Pakistan seems to be driven by companies operating in the manufacturing and industrial sectors and those that are catering to the consumption economy, such as car makers. In the early trading hours on Tuesday, Pakistan's benchmark index crossed the psychological barrier of 60,000 points for the first time in the country's history. The rise in the KSE 100 index started on 3rd July 2023, a Monday, when the index jumped 6.2% over its previous close on Friday, June 29th. The reason for this jump can largely be put down to what happened during the intervening weekend. On 30th June, Saturday, then Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif announced that his government and the IMF had reached a staff-level agreement about a $3 billion standby package that the Pakistan economy sorely needed at the time. This is what set off the market rally, as you can see in the graph. Then, on 12th July, the IMF board approved the deal, which kept the rally going. This optimism in the stock market was buoyed by the Pakistani media reports saying that Saudi Arabia and the UAE were releasing $2 billion and $1 billion respectively, so that Pakistan could shore up its foreign exchange reserves. Now, according to Uzair Yunus, who's director of the Pakistan Initiative at the Atlantic Council's South Asia Center, which is a US-based think tank, the rally in Pakistan's stock market can be attributed to a range of factors, including the IMF deal and the correction of the market in response to the performance of the corporate sector in the country. The stock market again rallied on August 30th following Interim Finance Minister Shamshad Akhtar's statement that Pakistan would be sticking to its commitments to the IMF and that no additional subsidies would be made to the people. Looking deeper at the data, we see that the top 20 companies which saw stock price rise the most over the last year are largely in the manufacturing or consumption-oriented spaces. For example, Pakistani packaged food manufacturer Mitchell's Fruit Farms saw its stock price rise 142% over the last year. Similarly, the stock price of apparel seller Image Pakistan jumped 60% over the same period. 3 auto companies, Honda Atlas Cars, Gandhara Industries, and Hinopak Motors, were also amongst the top gainers during the last year. On the manufacturing and industrial side, companies like tire maker Baluchistan Wheels, gelatin manufacturer Liner Pack Gelatin, National Silk and Rayon Mills, wind energy company Kohinoor Power, and packaging equipment manufacturer Macpac Films were amongst the top gainers. Reports from the news portal Dawn show that the July to September quarter saw a strong performance by Pakistan's corporate sector, which reportedly witnessed its highest ever quarterly earnings during that period. The automobiles, cement and fertilizer sectors reportedly saw their highest quarterly profits in almost 2 years. Uzair Yunus added that a combination of this strong corporate performance and the smooth process of the IMF deal buoyed foreign investors' confidence in Pakistan's markets once again. According to data shared by him, net monthly buying by foreign portfolio investors in Pakistani stocks stood at nearly a 4-year high so far in November. Further, FPI inflows in November are so far double the amount that came in during the previous 10 months together. Now, that said, it's not as if everything is okay with the Pakistani economy and that the bad times are completely behind them. The consensus still seems to be that the Pakistani economy is still in for some tough times, with the October 2023 update of the IMF's World Economic Outlook predicting a 0.5% contraction in GDP in 2023 and a kind of anemic 2.5% growth in 2024. But on that note, that's all from me. Thank you so much for watching.